Reporting live, Alexis Means, 13 ABC, Action News.
Yo, 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 what it do, Toledo? What's poppin'? It's your boy, E.Ali and the ToLe'Do. Yeah, the premier podcast in the 419, man. Just a weekly news, no cap. Just a recap of the news and shit, but I added the no cap to it. You know, like I said, one of the premier podcasts is in Toledo, Ohio. 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan, pothole capital USA, east of the Viaduct. Smack dead middle in hard times, man. You know what I mean? We in the new well, we in the midst, deep in the midst of the www.com era and shit, you know what I'm saying? In full swing, you know? So it's a lot of shit going on, man. Just like I said, this is your boy E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. Just with the weekly news, no cap on it, man. Not putting a spin on the shit. You know what I mean? This is roughly my roughly my strong second season, third episode and shit like that. Trying to get into it, man. Trying to keep on producing, trying to do my thing or whatever. Hey, don't take offense to it. Don't take offense to what's being said and shit like that, man. We all got our opinion, got 2 cents and shit, trying to secure our 5 minutes of fame and shit, you know. But I always say, man, there's 8 billion people on the planet. So with that being said, man, don't take offense to some of the shit that I might say. You know what I mean? I just offer my opinion and shit and stay in my lane. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, let's get to it.
Call Erica. It's E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. E.Ali, E.Ali, E.Ali in the ToLe'Do. E.Ali, E.Ali. We from the ToLe'Do. E.Ali in the ToLe'Do.
Yo, what it do, man? This your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do. Thursday, December 26, 2024, 6 p.m. I usually do this at 7. Well, I release the show at 7. I usually do it a couple hours before 7 o'clock before I release it. But nevertheless, this is December 26, Thursday, 2024. What it do, man? This your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do. Yeah, man, it's almost the end of the year and shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of contemplating being done, you know what I mean? I hope y'all getting y'all resolutions, setting your goals for the year, you know what I mean? Setting that up, you know what I mean? Also, just checking off the goals that you set last year for this year. You know what I mean? The start of 2024, you had some things that you wanted to accomplish. So I hope you was able to do that. You know what I mean? It was a positive year for the most part for me. You know what I mean? I was able to stay safe, you know what I mean, and shit like that for the most part. You know what I mean? Trying to stay away from a lot of drama, conflict, and shit like that with family, friends, strangers, and all that, man. Just keep my tongue and watch what I say. You know what I mean? Reserve a lot of shit what I say, man, and just let basically what I learned this year, man, for me, it's just letting the process, let it do what it do. Offer my opinion and advice out of love where it's needed. Outside of that, man, I'm going to stay in my own lane. You know what I'm saying? So, because for me, you know, shit, man, I'm a grandfather times 7. So, with that being said, it's a lot of times where, you know, I find myself in a space of, you know, giving counsel Cause it's the grandbabies now, you know. The kids is grown, so they making their own decisions and shit like that. But as you know, I used to be down on myself for the most part, because I feel as though I definitely made, a few mistakes being a young father, uneducated and shit like that, not established, still chasing. That's one of the pitfalls of our community too. When you young and having kids as a teenager and shit, cause you still young yourself, not developed, not sure shit, still trying to investigate and figure life out. And yet here you've been placed with the responsibility of raising a child. And if you don't have the tools or proper tools to do so, in many cases, man, you're gonna suffer in that area and shit. And that shit goes to, for the most part, as you get older, you see some of the effects of that through the relationships that you have with your children and shit, and they not understanding that. You know what I mean? But every generation is has a task to try to do better than the next generation. That's where the thing come in. You hope that and I know I did. I know I made definitely big strides in trying to do better than what my father did. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I was there. I grew up in a single family home, despite my children did. I wasn't married or nothing like that, but I was involved. You know what I mean? I participated in shit. Could I have did more? Oh yeah, for sure, man. Big time. You know what I mean? But I say I'm a better grandfather than I was a father. And so with that being said, man, I make big strides in that area and trying to make the correction. You know what I mean? But hey, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the share, send your comments and shit like that, man. Whether it's love or hate, it don't matter. I'm a dub it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dub that shit up, yo. I'm gonna take what you say, cause I don't take hate as hate. For the most part, it's constructive criticism. If you don't like what I say, then everybody got an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But if it's the way I said it, if I can see where I could have did better, and I take a self look at it and see if it was offended and shit like that, or I definitely make corrections in terms of that. So I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, man, getting into the big news, I guess for the 2024, being that we almost at the end, Thursday, December 26th. Shit, man, there was a lot of shit went on, man. The weather was big this year. We had some big hurricanes and shit that took place in the southern region that they still recovering from. North Carolina to Florida and shit like that. Parts of Texas, the weather was fucked up out west. A lot of fires and shit like that, man. It was an active tornado season as well. So we dealt with that weather-wise around here. I could think it was pretty much kind of dry. You know what I mean? We didn't get too much rain. We haven't gotten any snow, so we know that's going to possibly, be a problem later on, because you definitely need that ground to harden up, and just to kill off some of the germs and shit like that, man. That's in nature. That's what the code do. You know what I mean? But with that, other than that, man, you had the big news with the celebrity. They constantly, I see now, using that as a tactic or a ploy to take you away from other shit that's going on. Because not only did we have the big news and shit like that was major in terms of just, the downfall of P. Diddy, so to speak. A big icon, music icon. We all grew up on this music and some of the acts that he produced, some of the big names he was influential with and producing, from the Mary J. Blige, Busta Rhymes, Craig Mack, Biggie Smalls, 211, Total, a young jock. You know what I'm saying? From the, I think he had something even do shit, Rick Ross and them. Just a lot of things, man, that he was able to bring forth. You know, Sean John, the Gear. You know, Ciroc. You know, just little shit, just being iconic, man. You know, played in movies and shit like that. And you know, I'm sympathetic to that shit, man, for the most part, just seeing a brother go through that. You know what I mean? And was painful for me, I guess, to see a brother with that kind of money and leverage and still not be able to fight off the wolves and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of strange to me. That's a statement being said. And a lot of people just take it as, oh yeah, he is horrible. Yeah, okay, if he is, I get that. He could be, but a lot of people participated in that, and he's just not by himself. It's a lot of other people involved, and you have yet to see that. And so I'm kind of reserved before I place judgment on that kind of situation and just sit back and watch how things unfold. Now, yes, is he a horrible person just from the video that we seen with Cassidy and that? Yeah, that was horrible, man. And if that was my sister or somebody I was related to, after I seen that, even after she had told me and that came, oh yeah, I would want to touch him. You know what I mean? Because that was embarrassing. That was to me, that was extreme. You know what I mean? Took it too far and shit in terms of just his expression of his anger and being upset. And, you know, and I don't, you know, so with that being said, man, that's that. You know, but then just with the Jay-Z shit, you know, the shit that Jay-Z done facing, you know, with that shit, you know what I'm saying, with being accused of being tied in with Jay-Z. Now the thing with Puff, I guess, to kind of fuck me up with that and shit, is the fact that how, you know, in the day he was the big day, you know, everybody say ain't no party like a P. Diddy party and shit like that. So to have all them friends and all them associates and shit like that, you know what I mean, at the height of he was, and to show you that there's something going on where he don't get the same support as some of the other people, you know, because it was that white dude, I forgot his name, I have to get the research on him, but it was a white dude for Nickelodeon who had did some shit, man, was accused of violating some kid and shit like that or whatever, but it was top celebrities in terms of came out and supported this guy, wrote letters and shit in terms of showing they support. You know what I mean? And you don't have that with the Diddy. But see, with me, I'm a conspiracy theorist in some aspects, and I'm betting that in a lot of cases, a lot of these contracts and a lot of their money is tied into shutting the fuck up. If you make they done been warned. If you make a move or try to act like you support that shit, we'll slaughter y'all. You know, and you'll go down with him. You know what I mean? It's that kind of situation, and just from my opinion and just looking at it. You know what I mean? But the cancel culture is real, man. It's going down. You know what I mean? You even seen that, I guess, this year, you know, in the election. You know what I mean? We all seen that circus. You know what I mean? I got so many motherfucking brochures and flyers and pamphlets. I ain't never seen so much. Just a waste of money, man, in terms of just because you was doing this shit with all the ads. We know all the players early on. We don't have to have a continuation of constantly pushing and spending that money. That's just a big machine, and that's to pay off a lot of people and keep people in power and keep money flowing to certain people and all that, because you don't have to spend all the money and all the flyers that I will receive in that last month and a half upon running up on the election. Just all the flyers and pamphlets and brochures in terms of that shit that I received, man. It was every day. I received anywhere from 2 to 5 brochures, pamphlets from different candidates, different issues, topics and shit but just that whole machine was working, and it produced all that paperwork and shit like that. So it was like, to me, it was a big waste because we already knew who the people were early on. You can know, you can use a cheaper model in terms of educating people, because you can definitely use the television, get the candidate, because the people who's in television should have an interest in terms of who also is running, if this is not some Ponzi scheme, but they should also be invested and give up some money and time on them networks so that these individuals can show and give accountability in terms of what they say and their ideals and shit like that. But you can see where that ain't really happening. You know what I mean? You only really want to show one side and one angle at that. So with that being said, man, we kind of sit back now and see that it's a lot of bullshit being done with that whole two candidate type shit. You know, you got the Republicans and the Democrats, and you only get these two people early on. You might have 5 or 6 or 12 or 10, and then you get down to the 2 and 3, and then now you got two candidates, two candidates, one for each side, and it's just, to me, man, it ain't what's popping no more. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion and shit, man. You know, I'm upset with the process now in terms of just how that shit go, man. Then, you know, just congratulate, you know, I mean, that's, I don't know, man. Again, getting back into the shit, viral shit going on, man. Big shit for your boy, Travis Hunter, this year's Heisman Trophy winner. And he swept the thing, and he won a bunch of other awards and shit, man. I didn't even really realize that college football had and shit. But nevertheless, he swept. He got the Player of the Year, AP poll, Player of the Year, and a couple other shit. But and it was also a diversion, I guess, last week, a couple weeks ago, with his girlfriend. You know what I mean? The shit, the controversy and the drama that was surrounded her and shit like that. Social media took a few little things and try to blow it up more than what it was. But for me, man, I don't think he had, for me, he shouldn't respond to that shit. You know, keep your woman off the page. Keep her. You ain't doing shit. Don't even get on page. If you do something, is with me, and I'm gonna produce the content like my people, and we gonna produce it. She shouldn't be allowed to be able to do nothing on her own, because it ain't her no more. It's bigger than her. So her image will fuck his shit up. So that shit gotta be controlled all the way to the from the top to the bottom, from any post she do, all that. Like, she shouldn't be able to be doing none of that shit. Nobody around her, friends, family, none of that can be in association with her on the thing unless they run it through his team first. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Just so he don't have to face the bullshit. That's what I think. That's what should happen in terms of just that whole situation. But like I said, that incident with you know, because that's a diversion of his accomplishment in terms of what he's doing and what he was able to do this year. That's what I think. That's a deflection of that. But it's also they also trying to take your eyes and focus off, because the boy is a savage ass businessman. He just landed a 3.2 million NIL partnership with Adidas, right? But he was able to add his brother, what is his name? His name is Travis. His name Travis Hunter. He got a brother named Travis Hunter that he included in that deal. His brother played for some team in Georgia, I think it is. I forgot. I put it up in the page, but nevertheless, I briefly seen that and added that into the thing in terms of just when I talked about just some of the shit that was going on, or the deflection from what's going on, trying to put the focus on his fiance and shit like that, and not seeing that this brother was able to make a solid ass deal with a major company that included his younger brother. You know what I mean? That's what's major in terms of that's what should have been promoted, but they want to put you focus on that little shit. You know what I mean? When he making big moves and able to secure the bag for his younger brother already to put him on his own course and platform to do great things in his own right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, we just got to pay attention to some of the bullshit that's going on and shit like that, man, and keep focused. You know what I mean? Stop being so gullible and so misled like sheep, you know, with some of the bullshit. You know, do your research. You know what I mean? Read more than one source or one thing of information. Your thing shouldn't just be coming from, in my opinion, your thing shouldn't just be coming from the box office media, You know, the big networks. You got to step outside of those. You know, because the new digital age, in terms of allowing us to be able to communicate and create our own situations, talk shows, podcasts, interview things, educational platforms and shit like that, just from just doing this. You know what I mean? I'm able to do that shit myself. You know what I mean? And do my own research and then bring forth my own show that what I feel as though it's important to me. You know what I mean? Like this is like I said, man, this is E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, a premier podcast in the 419 Toledo, Ohio, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan. You know what I mean? We geographically located, always say that, because like we could hit Cleveland within 2 hours. I can get to Detroit 45 minutes. I can touch Chicago within 6 hours. I can get to Cincinnati in I think it's 4 hours, 3.5 hours. Columbus, Ohio. I can touch Cumulus in 2.5 hours. I can get to Fort Wayne. I got Indianapolis. It's like 4 hours, 4 hours, 4.5 hours. Pittsburgh is real close, 6 hours. New York is 12 hours. Atlanta, 12 hours. St. Louis, you could get there in 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? So we could touch major markets just from our little hub. You know what I mean? So that's unique in terms in itself. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm projected. That's my projection. That's my market just from here. You know what I mean? Be able to expand that viewership or that communication thing, to be able to create that base where I'm, you know, be able to influence. But I'm, you know, it's a few things in the works with this whole situation, man. But for me, you got to be able to not only influence, but for the most part, it got to be where the long term thing is educational. You got to be you got to get some people some game. You know what I mean? You got to be a place where somebody can come and get some real solid information in terms of how to strategically move and do some shit. Not just sitting up here talking about some of the bullshit and all that, how to move, but that's what I'm going to move with. I'm going to take certain scenarios with shit going through, but for instance, like the P. Diddy shit, right? You ain't got no friends. Like, you should have been knew that, and your movement should have been roughly 5 years ago should have been different. But I seen some things where, you know, it's some clips where the brother was talking about putting this money up and creating a situation where, you know, we just had a better, creating a platform for us. And you know what I mean? I don't just think it's the takedown of P. Diddy just for, you know, some of the mischief that he done did in his private life in somewhat in a public setting, but nevertheless in his private life and with his parties and shit like that. And now you trying to prosecute him for that. You know what I mean? And like I say, if you're going to prosecute him, it's a lot of people that's going to go down behind that, just not him. You know what I mean? So it's one of them kind of situations, man, yet that we just got to sit back and watch and see how that shit unfold. But it's unfortunate with all the shit that's going on. But before I end this show, man, and end this shit out, man, I'd like to thank y'all for the views and shit like that, the likes and shares and all that is growing. We're going to be trying to move this thing, trying to be consistent at dropping the shows at the time and shit like that. So just work with me, man. You know, it's a lot of shit. I got another show with my girl Elena Wilson, The Bottom of the Glass. with a splash of E.Ali. You know, we usually do that on a Saturday night and drop that on Tuesday and shit like that. And then I do this usually on I usually do this 5 or 6 hours before 7 o'clock. I usually try to do it anywhere 8 hour. I got an 8 hour window before 7 o'clock that I try to, you know, bring forth this, try to collect material throughout the week and narrow it down and shit like that. But I got to get better at that, get better at the promotion of the show throughout the week, collect the information that might hit Saturday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, bring all that together, right? And as I'm gaining that information and what's viral, what's important with the shit that I think that affect me, that I can offer a word of advice or some information that might propel somebody or match it up with a situation that I face and how, you know, that shit was detrimental to me and what I learned from that. I think that's the new direction of the show in terms of being able to take this information and the shit that I'm bringing forth and to try to make some sense of it, you know what I mean, in terms of why I'm opening my mouth, just give it more valid reason of why to do this show, to be able to take scenarios and shit that people go through, put it in my life and what I learned from it and how I develop and then how I'm still learning from shit. So I think that's where the show we're gonna try to get there with it. But last but for not least, man, we're gonna go R.I.P. It's a lot of people, man, and I'm gonna miss a lot. It's a lot of people that passed away in 2024, man. I know I can't remember them all, but I would like to say whoever hear this and whoever, man, and if your people was one of the ones and I didn't mention them, I apologize and shit like that. But my man, Derek Wise just passed, and that was a brother, man, that I met years ago. We was locked up in Striker and shit like that, but nevertheless, solid brother, man, good brother and shit. You know what I mean? Remember, you know, my money didn't hit. Was talking to the cat. Nigga fronted me a couple soups and shit like that till my money hit him back, doubling him up and shit like that or whatever. He refused to double up, just straight up what I gave him. He wanted back. So that was real solid from him, you know what I mean, to do that. Usually niggas want 2 for 1. You know, whatever you get, you owe them double for that. So that's how that normally work in that environment, a long shark type shit or whatever. But he refused to take that position with me. So I respect him for that, man. You know, singer Eleanor Collins passed away, R.A.P. Condolences to the families and friends of all these people in which I mentioned. James Earl Jones, Quincy Jones, O.J., Willie Mays, bunch of other, man, you know what I mean, passed away from sickness and all that kind of shit, man. So, but with that being said, man, you know, again, R.I.P., we pouring out a little liquor for those individuals, man. Again, I apologize for all the individuals who I didn't mention. I know there's many. I know right now just got a brain freeze. I wrote a few people down that especially the celebrity side, but the one with Derek Wise, man, that was one that it just was recent. Plus, that was one that I felt. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a couple other ones, you know what I mean? A couple other brothers, man, that can't think of right now, but for sure, man, condolences to all them D-Web, man, Web, you know, but shit, man, R.I.P. to those individuals, man, pouring out a little liquor for those individuals, man, you know, condolences to the family, the friends and shit. You know, hopefully the babies and shit like that, man, to those individuals taking care of grandbabies and shit, man. But to the celebrities, you know, for the most part, they got a legacy, and those individuals gonna have that. D Wise for the Wise family, you know, they big in the city, so they definitely got a legacy and known for what it is in the city. So condolences definitely to them, man. But this your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do, man. The weekly news, no cap. New weekly news recap of the news, but there's no cap on it. 30 minutes, man. 30 minutes. To one of Toledo, one of the 419 premier podcasts here in Toledo, Ohio. 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan, man. You know what I mean? Again, pothole capital USA. You know what I mean? East of the Viaduct. You know, right in the middle of the struggle. You know what I mean? But just for your boy, man, just putting my 2 cents in, offering my opinion. I usually use this as a form of medication, man, to be able to just get some shit off my chest. That's all it really is. And I just, you know, I got my 2 cents. I throw my 2 cents in to let everybody know. Definitely, you know, this shit is, you know, you're gonna be able to see shows, and for the most part, for eternally, if you're able to put yourself in the right position. But this is that. This is just my effort to give my opinion on some of the shit that I see, you know what I'm saying, and offer it from a big brother perspective and shit. Double OG. This your boy E.Ali and the ToLe'Do. Peace. Damn, man.
Holy Toledo!
E.Ali and the ToLe'Do.
What the fuck?
Reporting live, Alexis Means, 13 ABC, Action News.